You're talking to somebody who did not grow up listening to Kiss or Motley Crue at all. This is
Okay.
more like stuff I've learned in recent years, because guys in my band wanted to do it. Um, Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, really, and Peter Criss are all better singers than Vince Neil. Ace Frehley is definitely a guitar player who's inspired tons of guitar players.
Yes.
I mean, like my friend Brian Quinn, who plays for Candlebacks, that's like him and Slash. It's like his two favorite guitar players. I know a lot of guitar players where Ace is one of their favorites. But I will say this: the stage performance that Kiss does, I'd say any live performance you see today has borrowed something from them. Between the lighting and the pyrotechnics and the theatrics, like they're like the OG. I mean, there's people like Alice Cooper that kind of did this like theatrical thing, but just like in terms of like putting on a show, there's like a drop of Kiss in every single live show that you see.
Welcome, fellow lushes. Come on in, pull up a bar stool, and enjoy some cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
Have you ever played that game, Never Have I Ever?
Mhm.
You ever get one of them super embarrassing questions where you don't want to pick up the drink? Like, I don't know, like I shit my pants at work?
Yes and yes. That's why I prefer to play the game Who Said True?
What is Who Said True?
It's a free, friendly game that you play on your phone, laptop, iPad, anywhere, with anybody. I play with my friends all the time.
I've never played.
Like I said, I play with my friends. So anyways, you punch it into your phone. I'm already there.
That was
That's
easy.
right. I, myself, prefer the deck WTF.
And is that a kind of risque game?
It's in the R-rated.
Oh, boy.
Don't you worry. We could play with your daughter, at your school, G, PG, all kinds of categories.
Can just you and I play?
Yes. People play. We'll play soon. I prefer to play with more.
If I want to play, where do I go?
whosaidtrue.com/dimples in the beard.
Where?
whosaidtrue.com/dimples in the beard.
Are we on now?
Yay!
You see
All
there.
right.
Found you.
Really,
It's our first time.
Yeah, I swear we're professionals at this. I swear.
No, I mean I've been like setting up lighting and stuff and trying to put more shit on my walls just because this looks so boring. Because I have this like awesome like yoga room that's all like tapestries and psychedelic lighting, but because it's like an addition to the house, there's a brick wall on one side and like the Wi-Fi is sometimes like shoddy back there. So I try to make this space look a little.
Well, your backdrop is beautiful.
This is my first Zoom meeting, by the way.
Okay. Apparently ours too.
I did some live streaming in 2020, but that was it.
Yeah, back before the world ended. So let's get you introduced first. I came to know you on my trip to Nashville. Saw you and the boys playing at Mellow Mushroom, and was lucky enough to get some rock and roll in that country town. So after we talked to you, was like, I got to see if she'll come on. So Monica Lewellen from Nashville. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Tell me all about you. So excited.
You were by far our favorite band in town.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, because we're not big country music people. When it's live, it's fine. But when you run into the rock and roll, we were like, yep, we're here for a while.
I'm not a big country guy myself, obviously. So.
Yeah, how does that
major influences? It seems like doing my little research.
How does that go? Being a rock band in Nashville, is it ever tough?
So when I first moved here to Nashville, like it was like 9 years in January. It was kind of like there was more of like a stigma, like you have to learn or do a certain percentage of country songs in the night. Now you could do like pop or rock, but there had to be like, a certain amount. And then it got to the point where I was doing like maybe 2 a night. And then when Kid Rock's bar opened, the management had me put together a rock band specifically because Bobby, I guess, wanted more rock down there, which we wound up leaving that club about a year ago. It's kind of like a toxic work environment. So we graduated. But yeah, so it's kind of like changed now where you can, because there's so many clubs downtown and so many floors, I think it bodes better for the bands and for the venues for everybody to just kind of like do their thing. That way you're not walking to 15 bars hearing Chicken Fried, over and over again. You kind of have, I've got a friend, like she does like Whitney Houston and Aretha Franklin. And I have a guy friend who does all like 90s, early 2000s, like female pop, and uses like backing tracks. And it's a whole orchestrated show. Like they play the same show every time. And Lee Greenwood's drummer is his drummer. Like it's awesome, He does like Destiny's Child and stuff, so us doing like the Kiss and the Judas Priest and, like the Scorpions and stuff that a lot of other people don't do. It's kind of like, it's what sets us apart. Or as I like to say, life is like Tetris. When you try to fit in, you disappear, if anything, it's, now that we're allowed to do it, it's been better for us, the past like 3 years or so. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I would imagine, I mean, being one of the, I don't know, are there a lot of bands that do rock and roll, or is it pretty limited?
Not exclusively. The Mellow Mushroom actually has kind of become like a metal spot, like for a lot of the bands. There's a couple rockabilly bands that play there, but
yeah, we saw them the next day. We saw a rockabilly band the next day. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, there's another guy that plays there. His name's Tracy Good, and he does like Slipknot and stuff. Like I play more like what I call like dad rock, but he plays like straight up like heavy metal and early 2000s like thrash rock. I don't even know what you call Slipknot. I don't know what genre that is, but
I don't know.
I think they're our own.
Yeah.
Industrial death metal. I don't know.
I like that. Let's go with that.
There's too many genres to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, for real.
You definitely are in that dad rock, I guess you could say. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. I'm a dad. Liked everything you're saying so far.
I'll get somebody to be like, "Oh, you don't play country? You're in Nashville." And I'm like, "It's Music City, sweetheart, not country music city."
Man, that's a great answer.
It is. And I mean, as a singer, rock's got a lot more dynamics. It's harder to do. Like when I sing country, I don't feel like it showcases my talent. When I bust out, something like Journey or Boston, then I feel like, okay, this is me really showing what I can do. If I'm singing Miranda Lambert, it doesn't really demand that much of me.
Yeah.
No disrespect. I mean, Tom Petty's not hard to sing either. But,
just pinch your nose a little bit and go.
So when you first got there, were you doing a lot of country? Is that your only way that at the time with it?
No, not a lot. I mean, I think I probably knew 2 country songs when I moved there, and I had to like hurry up and learn like a handful. But I actually have a gig booked in Cincinnati in a couple weeks, and they want us to play more country this time. We've played the venue before, and I went back through my old set. I still only probably have like 15 country songs on my original set list. So I just did like the bare minimum. And then I did, but it wasn't like I went from that and then I was playing like a bunch of Metallica and stuff. We play like the B-52s or the Backstreet Boys, or Bonnie Tyler, like that type of stuff goes over great, so it doesn't have to, it's just as long as I wasn't doing like, Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains all night, they were okay with it.
It's amazing to think that you have that much range where you're doing that many different bands, and that's crazy. I mean,
then it's all the ones that I like.
Well, that helps, but that's definitely a wide range. That's cool.
So what you do now is it you kind of base it off of I like it. You assume others will like it, or do you take suggestions on songs to learn?
I think the rule of thumb is kind of like it's got to be a song that people know the words to, or at least know the words to the chorus, or something they can dance to that has like a beat. Was that like American Bandstand? If I can dance to it, it has a good beat,
Yeah.
People will go for it.
It's a trend.
I try to keep it up tempo. We don't do a whole lot of slow songs, but never underestimate the value of a good power ballad. Like Total Eclipse of the Heart was back when I played in my friend's band, And I swear to God, that song had more firepower than anything. Like I'd seen Sweet Home Alabama clear a room out, but Total Eclipse of the Heart, the room could be empty. And as soon as my guitar player would be like, turn around, it'd be like, ah, and all those people like run up to the stage. So, or like Faithfully by Journey always.
Oh yeah.
Super hard. So
yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I try to sometimes if I'm not as familiar with the band's catalog, I'll look at like the top streams.
Yeah.
To kind of gauge, you know. And a lot of times too, what it comes from is just like what people ask for. Like people would always ask for Wood by Alice in Chains, which I would not think would be a song that would go over well, but it does. Like it's weird to me, but I think part of that is we kind of build the room. That's what we play, so people kind of they get in a position where they're like they expect it. You know, it's not like I'm going from playing, you know, like a bunch of 90s pop music or something, and then I'm jumping into a totally different genre. Like, it's, you know, it's kind of it's the same flavor to an extent.
Yeah, once you can get the room going with rock and roll, you're good, you know, then those songs come into play. And I know you
this is what we do, you know. And by doing that, you know, I've never found that pandering was a good tactic. It's more just if you build it, they will come. If I show them what we do, then they're gonna request the types of songs that we want to play. And that's always so far it's working out.
Well, it was great for me because you played a Motley Crue request, so I was happy. Yeah, and I remember sitting there thinking, I've seen Motley Crue live. I don't know how many times. I'm like, she does better than Vince does on this song. It's I mean, that's not hard to beat, but
nowadays.
I was gonna say he's not the hardest to emulate, but you know. But I mean, he's freaking Vince Neil, and I'm not. You know what I mean? It's not. Right? I mean, no disrespect, you know.
No. I mean, I love them to death, but I know, you know, like I said, I've seen him live so many times. I know he only sings like every other word. So, I mean, I know what he got into the band for. I mean, I've seen the movie, I've read the book, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was a cute guy.
He wasn't as good looking as Sebastian Bach, but he's pretty damn close.
Yeah. So there's your rock crush, Sebastian Bach.
Oh no.
Oh
no. It's like more of like a basis of comparison of similar genre.
He might be mine though.
Yeah,
Sebastian Bach might be mine.
I don't really crush on looks. I crush on talent, so I'd have to probably go with like Ian Gillan from Deep Purple.
Okay.
I love Freddie Mercury, Robert Plant. Those are obvious choices, and kind of like a wild card, but like I love George Michael. like
he's got an awesome voice.
He does.
He's amazing. Like, I mean, I would say like Freddie had more power than him because they're very similar, but nobody has finesse like George. I mean, it's like unreal. I like tend to listen to him when I'm trying to find those like more delicate like aspects of singing. Oh, and Paul McCartney, obviously, great singer. He's right behind me. All my pickups in the wrong place. It's supposed to be here, but close.
Yeah. Nobody will notice.
I did.
No. Yeah, no. I did. No.
Well, and it's a right-handed Hofner, but it is a Hofner. I know you can't see the headstock, but
okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about it. I was gonna say you don't see those hanging up very often, all over the place. So
it was actually a gift.
Okay.
From a friend of mine. Yeah, because I'm a Beatles fanatic, and I do a Beatles tribute show with Ace Frehley's bass player, who's on your shirt right there. I think is that Destroyer.
It is a Destroyer. It is a Destroyer.
Tommy, is it?
No. No, but I've seen them both. I prefer Ace. And I've seen Ace alone. So there you go.
No.
Don't know if he's got the same bass player as he did back then.
I have no idea.
No.
You're looking at the wrong guy. I
we have a debate always going. I was so excited.
We just saw him over in like October. With Alice Cooper. That was my second time seeing Alice. That was amazing.
Alice is good, yes.
It's on a hell of a show.
But
so talk about somebody I have a crush on, Anita Strauss, like meow. She's great.
Yeah. I've started following her actually just recently.
Okay.
On Instagram,
We got to go see her at like a small, kind of more intimate venue a couple months ago. Man, she's great. I mean, I don't know how she bangs her head like that for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like I would be dead. I was like, my neck hurts just watching her, but she's great. Yeah.
So is that what you grew up listening to? Is rock like Kiss?
Actually, no. I'm more of like a more recent Kiss fan. Because the guys in my band are massive Kiss fans, and that was kind of how we got into doing the whole tribute thing. But I mean, I'm 38, so I grew up in the grunge era. You know, my dad had like 10 and Dirt and Nevermind and all those albums. And then when I got my first guitar and I was like 16 or 17, that was when I started listening to classic rock, because I just like didn't like music on the radio anymore. I was like, I don't know what Pro Tools or Auto-Tune are, but everything's too clean. Like Hole's first album versus like Celebrity Skin in like 1998. I'm like, this doesn't even sound like, where's the dirt? Like, you know, but I was, you know, young and I didn't know what the heck any of it was. And I just started digging into classic rock bands like Deep Purple and the Scorpions and Dio. And yeah, I never looked back.
I think it's hard to. When
Yeah.
you see talent, when you see great music like that, it's hard to go back. I think.
Right?
When the singers too. I mean, God, I love Klaus. Like, he's one of my favorite singers to impersonate. His German accent, you know.
It is weird. I guess I don't really hear it when I hear him. I mean, in some words you do, but it is weird how guys like him and Ozzy, like when they sing, I don't necessarily hear it that much, you know. And like, but when Ozzy tries to talk, you can't understand a word I mean, there's more to the accent, but
There's more to that.
Ozzy's like style is almost impossible to emulate. Like, nobody sounds like him but him.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, he's pretty damn unique. Oh.
Was that you when you go into a song, you pick it by singer?
Do I what?
Like you'd like a song you want to learn. You're like, I want to learn because I want to try a new vocal pattern or range.
Yeah, I mean, we're fairly
just
like
so big.
democratic, you know. Like sometimes my guitar player will be like, "Hey, I want to do this song," you know, or "Can we do this?" You know, but yeah, I mean, it's just
So you don't
a
get to
lot
pick
of
them all?
times, like I said, it's like if somebody's like, "Hey, do you guys know how to play this?" I'd be like, "Damn it, no, but I need to learn that." Like, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I do most of the stuff that I've wanted to do.
Yeah.
Over the years. I mean, there's so many songs that I like always wanted to do, and I finally got to do them, and I feel like I've checked most of it off of my list. But yeah, I think I gravitate towards, you know, the singers, but if there's something that's got like a badass guitar solo, like we do That Smell by Leonard Skinner, not a hard song for me to sing. And I love Van Zant, but it's low and it's pretty easy to sing. But I wanted to hear Alex, you know, play all that.
Yeah.
You know, and for him to be covering, you know, all those guitar parts and make it sound right is amazing. So,
Do you have any songs that you do that you have to fake, like that you just aren't into, and I mean, is there anything that you guys do that you kind of play for the band?
I mean, we don't really play anything that we don't like. Yeah. I mean, there's a handful of songs I'm tired of, but if somebody's got $20, I mean, $20 is $20, you know, like What's Up by the 4 Non-Blondes or Bobby McGee. Like, I've been, you know, singing those since I was like in college, you know. It's
yeah.
A little over it, but there's some songs like Sweet Child of Mine, I've probably sang thousands of times. I don't really ever get sick of it.
Yeah.
You know, Don't Stop Believing, never get tired of singing that one. You know, I feel like that's like I should be tired of, but I'm not. It was fun to sing.
Yeah, especially, I mean, a good crowd with that song. You know, I mean, that's definitely crowd participation time.
Well, that song you would think the world would be sick of by now, but they just aren't.
They aren't, right?
Not against it, but it's just grows. It grows every year, it seems like.
Well, and it never really gets any easier to sing. It requires a lot of like my attention and like vocal discipline while I'm singing it. I can't just like whiffle my way through it, you know, like I can with some songs. I actually have to like put effort into it. It's not one I can like zone out during, you know, which does happen. It's a 4-hour show. I'm going to space out at least once or twice.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Yeah, it's a long time to play.
It is.
I love, you know, as we've talked to comedians now and some actors and stuff, and we love to talk about like the science behind it. And it's interesting to hear you say there's some songs that you can almost zone out on and still sing. And then there's songs that you really got to be into. That's cool to hear.
I'm often like surprised by it. I'm like, wait, did I say? And I almost never mess up arrangements either. Like even when I zone out, I'm like, oh yeah, we're in the bridge part now. Like I'm like, where was I for a second? You know, like I said, I'm almost 40, so I don't think my brain's holding up. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird even to me because it's not something that's like obviously intentional.
Yeah, it's like true muscle. It's like true muscle memory.
It is muscle memory, 100%. Yeah, we've got almost 300 songs in our set list too.
Oh my God.
So I never really feel like, okay, I'm burnt out on this. You know, we know like 10 Guns N' Roses songs. I don't have to play Sweet Child of Mine every single show. You know, or there's like 30 Kiss songs in the set list.
When you do the tribute, it's a whole night of Kiss, right?
Yes. We haven't done one for a while because of COVID and everything like that. And I think everybody's broke still, and a lot of people don't want to pay to hire. I mean, it takes us 3 hours to get into makeup and costume and everything like that. It's not cheap. And, you know, I to be honest, I haven't really been like actively trying to book it because it's kind of exhausting. But like if somebody hits me up and wants me to do it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have the PS 120, like the Paul Stanley guitar. I have his stage banter memorized, you know, and
okay,
you know, like his try to match his like cadence and everything, you know.
Yeah.
People, listen, you have to lisp a little bit too, you know.
Oh,
yeah. Wow. I didn't think of that till now, but yes.
I mean, I used to do the whole intro to Cold Gin from, I think it's from Alive One.
Sure.
Where you know, and because we originally were gonna do 100,000 Years. I'm like, yo, can we cut this one? Because Paul talks for like 5 minutes in the middle of it, like on Alive One.
With all the audience participation and all that stuff, yeah.
I mean, he talks for a while. It's ridiculous, but I love that song. But it's a lot to memorize, you know, for a live setting.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
But I mean, when we do like Love Gun, I'll still do the bit, you know, my Uzi of ooze and like.
It sounded so much cooler in the 80s.
How much?
Yeah, it's
how fun is that to play him on stage? You just kind of reenact him, huh? You be kind of.
Yeah, it gets. I mean, I think being a vocalist. I mean, and also I do have a master's degree in linguistics. Speak a few languages. So to me, it's not really like I'm not memorizing the words or the lyrics so much as I am like the sound they're making. You know, I try not to like over articulate and stuff. So, you know, I mean, I took acting in high school too. So to me, it's like I'm playing a character.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
I mean, it is. Kiss is like a tribute on a whole other level because it's the makeup and you have to have the mannerisms and everything. I mean, it's weird. Like I never did anything that involved before. I mean, my guitar player even has like the smoking Les Paul and stuff. I mean, it's wild.
I was going to ask you, so do you do as much as a stage show as you can, smoking guitar and fireworks?
We haven't messed with any pyro before.
Okay.
Pretty much everything else, like my drummer, Christopher Williams, who's also toured with Ace and Gene. He plays in Accept. He's their main drummer. He tours and records with them and stuff. He built the whole freaking mirror ball kit, and he built lights for the 2 bass drum heads that say Kiss, and they like flash and phase and do all this different stuff. So I mean, it's a lot. It's pretty involved, you know.
It is, just from seeing him so many times. It's got to be a lot.
Yeah, you're talking to somebody who puts on makeup every day. I mean, this is like it's like a whole other animal, man. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he puts on makeup every day too. So
I try. You try to look like Kiss.
You feel pretty, you know.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
I'm so speaking of, you mentioned COVID before. How bad did COVID affect you guys as musicians down? Were you guys completely closed down for a while?
Yeah, for a few months. I think they shut everything down. It was a couple of days after. I'm trying to think. My guitar player's birthday. It was like a couple of days after that. So I think it was like March 16th.
Okay.
And they briefly reopened in June with like limited capacity. Like you couldn't sit at the bar. You had to be at a table. If you stood up, you had to wear a mask, like all that stuff. But they were only open for maybe like a month, and they shut it down for like 2 more months and then reopened again in like late August. And then we were still like at same thing, limited capacity, no bar seating. And then like little by little, it was like they would up the capacity till we were essentially back to normal. But during the shutdown, I mean, unemployment in Tennessee is a joke. So but fortunately, there's a lot of resources here. And because I know a lot of other musicians, people be like, hey, there's this grant that you can, apply for. So I probably received close to $10,000 in grant money during that approximately 6-month period, just applying my ass off. I must have applied to like 30 different grants. And then with the live streaming was lucrative for a while, but it eventually kind of dropped off.
Yeah.
To where it wasn't like a viable source of income anymore. But, it was okay. I mean, we survived.
You made it because I mean, music is what you do for a living, correct? You don't have.
I don't have, I have a day job. No, I've been doing this full time for over 9 years. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. How do you get used to the?
I have a master's degree. I don't have to do this. I just want to. I used to teach.
Work?
Oh, you did?
Do what?
I taught. Yeah, so you got out of college and got a real job.
I taught Spanish at WVU while I was doing my MA, and 2 summers I went and taught American culture at Wuhan University in China, actually, which nobody ever freaking heard of until 2 years ago. Where's Wuhan? Now everybody likes, oh yeah, Wuhan. Like, yeah, I'm patient 0. What's going on? I was like 23, 24 when I did this. But that was a really cool experience. And then when I got back, it was like 2008. There's no job, so I worked in sales for a while. Hated it. Started playing in a band part-time, and then wound up moving here after coming here for a visit. And I walked up and down Broadway. And I'm like, none of y'all got day jobs? You don't have a day job? This is all you do, right? Fuck it, I'm out, dude. I moved here like 2 weeks later, I think. Yeah, I was like, I'm out. Peace.
Awesome. So did you head there by yourself?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I knew a couple other people that were moving here around the same time, but didn't really, those relationships didn't really facilitate work. It was more just like hanging out, meeting people, sitting in, just hitting the pavement downtown as much as possible. And it worked out. I mean, I bought a house in September, so
awesome.
Finally. So I probably should have like sooner, but I'm like, I don't like commitment, man.
It is really a fan. It is the ultimate commitment. You can get rid of the boyfriends. I mean, once you're in the house, like,
or the way the market is here. I mean, the way the market is here, I could turn around and sell it tomorrow, but right. I liked it. I actually rented it, and then when it went on the market, they like kind of gave me first shot at it, so I didn't have to compete with anybody, which was great because in Nashville, a lot of people are paying like $50,000 to $100,000 over appraisal price because they're getting into bidding wars with people. I didn't have to do that, so.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, the housing market is insane.
So how scary was that? Just moving by yourself,
I didn't have to move.
Put up your career.
Oh, you mean moving here?
Yeah.
Well,
back then, after. So just walk through a little quick. So you got out of college, and how quickly did you go to Wuhan?
Well, I went to Wuhan while I was working on my master's. So when I got back, then I had to like look for a real job. And that was when I worked in sales, and I hated it. So, I guess it was a little scary at first. It's probably nice when I cried myself to sleep, but I mean, after about 2 or 3 weeks, I had my first gig, and after a month, I had my first steady paying gig. So,
oh shit, nice.
And the rest is history.
Awesome. Yeah, that was fantastic. 2 weeks. Well, the way you sang it, I can understand why it didn't take long.
Oh my God, thank you.
Oh.
I mean, there's like 3 rules really. It's like don't be a drunk, don't be a dick, and don't suck. That's really all you need to be really successful in anything, but especially in the music industry.
I can't do it. I don't think I can do 2 of those for sure. I'm a drunk and I suck. I don't know, what was the middle one?
Don't be a dick.
Oh, dick.
I'm not a dick.
He's drunk, he's a dick, and he can't sing, so he's not moving.
You can be drunk. You just can't be a drunk.
Yeah. I know. Like we took your suggestion. We're drinking Jameson, and I'm like, I don't know if she'll drink. She's got a show tonight. Like, I don't.
I'm having like one of those energy drinks, because I gotta.
Yeah.
We gotta play it. I gotta head downtown in a couple hours, and I'm sure I'll have one when I get there.
Yeah. Your schedule, I just like you are like have shows 10 to 2 every night. This
Yeah, I do.
is it like that a
today,
lot?
Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we play 2 to 6 though, so
Okay.
it's nice because I used to do like the weekend late nights and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm getting too old, man. I don't want to deal with all the young kids. I don't want to deal with the crowds. I'd rather take a gig that pays like a little less. It's like chill, and there's some dudes in there like my dad's age just hanging out, having a beer, not a bunch of bachelorette parties drinking, I don't know, Jaeger bombs. What do the kids drink these days? I don't even
White
know,
Claw?
dude.
White Claw?
White Claw. Yes, that's what it is.
White Claw bombs, I guess. I don't know.
I just, it's too much for me. It's like I get done at 6 o'clock on Friday, and I don't go back till 10 o'clock Monday. Like, it's amazing. I love having my weekends off. Every once in a while, I'll pick up a Saturday gig, like or a Friday night at Bowie's. But that's usually once or twice a month. It's not like it's every weekend.
So speaking of Bowie's, I assume like the local people, you probably don't. Do you hang out on Broadway much, or where do the local people go?
Not Broadway, and not unless they have like friends or family visiting from out of town. Bowie's is more of like a local spot because it's a couple of blocks from Broadway, but still downtown. But yeah, Printer's Alley is usually pretty decent. Although lately I feel like it's kind of getting overrun by tourists. There's a few chill spots in East Nashville. Like I like dive bars, like Twin Kegs and Mickey's and Dee's Country Cocktail Lounge in Madison. That place is great because they always have live music, but the band's never loud, so you can like actually talk.
That's cool. Yeah.
And the owner's from Chicago, so she's got some like it's more like like bar food, but like she's got like Chicago beef and like walking tacos, whatever you call them, like the Frito pie
tacos. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you originally from?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I never listened to country because it's
not much of a country town there.
I always thought like people wore like cowboy hats and cowboy boots. Like ironically, I didn't think they actually wore them like in real life. Like it's like seriously. And the first time I ever saw that, I was like, dude, like what do you think you're in like a Western? Like what are you doing? Like it's
right.
It's so strange to me. I don't. Yeah, it's so foreign to me still. I grew up in a cloudy city in the grunge era. I'm like, I was all Alice in Chains and stuff. I mean, I guess like I probably like had heard the name Garth Brooks and Billy Ray Cyrus, but mainly because he was on that TV show Doc back in the day. It's the only reason I know. Yeah. Dude, I'll give you a great example of how clueless I am. So we saw Duff McKagan a few years ago, from Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Actually met him at Tootsie's like probably 5 or 6 years ago. He's so nice. But we go see him, and this dude opens for him, and the band's great. And then that band was also his band. Like it's probably to keep like touring costs down. And I'm like, man, this band's really great. And my guitar player's like, yeah, it's Shooter Jennings. I go, there's Waylon Jennings kid. I go, like I had no idea until they were like off the stage. So that was not like I care. I'm like, I don't even know a Waylon Jennings song anyway. I could not name one for you. If I heard one, maybe, but I can't because I think partly because I had to like I started hearing all these country songs simultaneously for the first time. I'm like, is that one Hank Jr. or is that one Willie Nelson? Like I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I mean I'm cool with that. I'm comfortable with who I am.
If you haven't had to like learn it all now to be accepted, you're good, right? I mean, after this many years.
It's not my bag. And like I said, I think it's just better to be yourself and do what you're good at and what you love than to just try to fit in, for the sake of fitting in.
Yeah, because not to put anybody on blast because I have zero talent at all, but you could definitely tell as you walk through Nashville and go to some of the bars, some of the people that are doing it just because it's a paycheck, and some of the people, and the other people that actually enjoy doing it. So. You certainly see some of that.
Right, you definitely do. And a lot of, again, no disrespect, but some of the country, music, especially the vocal aspect, it doesn't have the dynamics of rock and roll. And when I was first in town, very often I would hear like be listening, especially to like girl singers and checking out the gigs and what songs they were doing. And I hear her do like a Miranda Lambert song. It sounded pretty good. I'd be like, oh, she's got a good voice. And then hear her try to do like Pat Benatar, which by the way, not really that hard to sing. I love Pat and all, but like, as you know, as my set list goes, that tends to happen earlier in the set because I don't need to warm my voice up as much. It's not as much demanding of range, tone, yes, but hear her try to sing that and be like, ugh, like, you know, this is not. I take back what I said about you, you know, and you know, you can't, like, a lot of these guys, they'll be playing like Sweet Child of Mine on a Telecaster, and I'm just like, dude, like without a humbucker, it just doesn't sound right. Yeah. Or they don't learn the guitar solos. Like I went and saw a band, and I know the guitar player. He didn't play a single note of Sweet Child of Mine, like of the solo. First of all, dude, people can sing that solo. Even if it's like Santeria by Sublime, I can sing that guitar solo. It's very signature. It's very particular. You can't just noodle your way through it. And I said something to my guitar player about it, and he goes, because we're hanging with this other dude, and he goes, well, some people just like to add their own, like, you know, interpretation of flavor. And he goes, what? You're going to write a better guitar solo than Slash? And I go, yeah, exactly. I go, that's not you doing an interpretation. That's you were too lazy to do your homework, you know?
You don't know what.
Yes, agreed.
I play with the group of most anal musicians I've ever freaking met. And I love it because I'm very anal retentive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my bass player went to Belmont. You know, I think you probably saw Alex play guitar with us. I mean, that kid's like prodigious. Yeah. You know, and you know, like I mentioned, Christopher is, you know, I mean, he also toured with Blackfoot.
Oh wow.
Like he was in Blackfoot. Yeah, you know, and it's just I don't know. I like that. I feel like they keep me on my toes and make me want to work harder so that maybe we don't get to that, you know, mentality where we do feel like we're phoning it in or half-assing it. Absolutely. You know, we want to do.
By the way, you just take...
It doesn't do that there, actually. It does this. Can you just listen to it? I'm going to just make sure. Right? All right.
You've definitely taken the crown for smartest guest just by the use of the word prodigious.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I do have a master's degree in
I had to think about what is it?
And technically, I do have a genius IQ, but don't tell anybody that. I need them to think I'm a stupid musician, so they keep giving me money.
Well, all 35 people that watch this will know now.
Yeah, yes. Secrets out.
But they might tell their friends. It might be 70. I don't know.
They'll go.
It might be. Hey, I'm going to tell my friends. That should at least add like 2 or 3 people.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you very much.
What? Me?
No, her.
Oh.
Including your friend.
Like, I know what I did. That. Right.
I'm your only friend, so
I know.
You can tell all your friends, and it's right here.
I know. So what are some...
Just acquaintances. Sorry, what?
No, that's all right. What's some crazy shit that's happened while you were on stage? You ever had good bar fights or
that tell her I don't want to work the weekends anymore?
Right.
Yeah, like people trying to run up on stage. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think, like there's been a lot. I mean, there's plenty of bar fights.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah, just
or people that just jump on stage think
they're part of the band.
That they can, because you looked at them, they said, "We're friends now. I've seen them twice." You know, so
yeah. It's or like, you know, just like in the back room of Tootsie's. For one, they never staffed enough security back there. Not when I worked there, but like I remember this one weekend, like. I mean, we must have had 4 or 5 people try to charge the stage, and me and my bass player just have to like shove them off the, you know, the side of the stage. You know, and I mean, it was just, again, not a great environment to work in. That's why we left.
Ooh,
yeah, I'm trying to think of like something specific that was like totally crazy. Because not too much crazy stuff has happened since we left like the whole Tootsie's Kid Rock circuit. Okay. You know, when you don't work for crazy people, there's not as much crazy shit that happens.
That's true. Yeah.
I can say I'm glad you didn't work at Kid Rock's because we were in there for about 5 minutes and we were gone. So that was like
too loud, you know. And
yeah, we stayed out of all the famous people's places. Essentially, we just went to the real bars. We stayed out of Jason L.
Yeah, I mean,
Brian's.
On New Year's Eve, and there's a video. If you go, there's an Instagram account called Music Shitty, which is amazing. It's like memes and making fun of stuff that happens here. There's a video of the owner, Dave Smith, and like to the lead singer while he's on stage, he says, "I'm gonna kill you." You can hear him on the microphone because he didn't like the lead singer, and I don't know what happened leading up to that. I don't know, but yeah, those were the types of people that I don't want to work for anymore.
You should feel safe at work, no matter where it is. You should feel safe at work.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of rumors that floated around about those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just not good. I'm trying to think I really just need to like write my memoirs.
There you go.
Like about like I mean, I remember one time passing the jug. There was this dude, and he was like, "Oh, what's your name?" And I tell him, and he's like, "Damn, girl, you got a manly voice." I was like, "Well, at least one of us does." Like I'm like Madeline Kahn in Blazing Saddles, like from working in a bar for so long. I just have the snappy retorts. Like
you need to
like publish a book for my female counterparts so they can just put dudes in their place.
Right? Absolutely.
Are they the worst? Dudes are the worst to deal with.
Not all dudes.
Or girls.
I mean, some women. It's mostly boomers. Honestly, like as a whole, I find are the most difficult people to deal with. But not all of them.
Sure.
I can't make a sweeping generalization about anybody. But yeah.
So if you had a chance to sing every song that you want, who's your favorite to sing? Male, female, or one of each?
I mean, I mostly do male vocalists. What is my favorite to sing? I mean, I love doing Journey. My band doesn't really play any Wham. Sometimes in December I'll play like Last Christmas or something on my acoustic and sing it. But
love that song.
I like doing Queen. I like anything off like the News of the World album is awesome. What else do I like? I like a lot of stuff. I like singing CCR because like John Fogerty's voice is like his articulation's so weird.
Yeah.
Like you can't like sing the words that are on the lyric sheet. You gotta like mumble and you can't say stopping at the log where catfish bite. You can't say that. You gotta stop at the log where catfish bite. You gotta do it like that. It's like you gotta like I mean it's like, so to me that's challenging, I guess. I like it. I love singing Judas Priest.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And Van Halen. Like David Lee Roth Van Halen, because that is also like I'm doing a cartoon character. It's just this weird thing.
Right.
No.
So you were going to ask about the debate question before.
I was.
And then you never did. So what was your
debate?
We're talking the Kiss Motley Crue battle.
Yes. We have an ongoing. We have about a 10-year gap between us. We do have a debate each time. That obviously without Kiss, Motley Crue wouldn't be who they are, and Kiss, of course, is better than Motley Crue, and that's our debate.
I'm okay with. Oh.
I'm sorry. Quiet. Let the lady speak.
Look, and granted, you're talking to somebody who did not grow up listening to Kiss or Motley Crue at all. This is more like stuff I've learned in recent years, because guys in my band wanted to do it. Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, really, and Peter Criss are all better singers than Vince Neil. Ace Frehley is definitely a guitar player who's inspired tons of guitar players.
Yes.
I mean, like my friend Brian Quinn, who plays for Candlebacks, that's like him and Slash. It's like his two favorite guitar players. I know a lot of guitar players where Ace is one of their favorites. But I will say this. The stage performance that Kiss does, I'd say any live performance you see today has borrowed something from them. Between the lighting and the pyrotechnics and the theatrics, like they're like the OG. You know, I mean, there's people like Alice Cooper that, you know, kind of did this like theatrical thing, but just like in terms of like putting on a show, there's like a drop of Kiss in every single live show that you see. So you know, I would say like, you know, but again, I'm not as proficient with like my knowledge.
You wrapped it up perfectly.
You know, I'm not as prolific in my knowledge of like Motley Crue songs. I know like the hits.
Yeah.
You know, but I do love Gene because I like his melodic bass parts. Gene's a big Beatles guy. I'm a big Beatles guy. So of course I'm gonna favor, you know, him over Nikki.
Ooh, double whammy right there. Double whammy.
Oh.
You know, sorry.
You're my favorite person
I know
ever.
people, plus I know like guys that play in those camps. So if I say I like Motley Crue better, I won't have any friends left.
I'll take it.
I know. It's funny because I was literally having this conversation in the car earlier with my boyfriend. I was like, man, I just don't really like any of those spandex wearing makeup dude. Like, it's just not my thing. Because we're listening to the Scorpions. I go, this is like real classic rock. It's not just like, you know, a bunch of like makeup and hair and spandex and lousy metaphors about a woman's vagina. You know, it's like, she's my cherry pie, like, you know, like.
Oh, is that what that song's about? God damn it.
That's what I was told. I haven't like analyzed the poetry. You know,
The poetry.
I don't think there's a lot of room for interpretation, and especially when I grew up listening to like the Beatles and a lot of this like 90s rock. Same reason why I don't like emo. I'm like, back in my day, we liked our depression and we didn't fucking whine about it. Like, you know, there's a lot more depth to it. There's a lot more, you know, metaphor there. That isn't really there in like hair bands. Said her name was Cindy. She changed her name to Sin. Okay, that's a country song. You're telling a story. Where's the metaphor? It's no metaphor. It's too literal, and there's no room for interpretation. You know.
Sure. Okay.
You're gonna have to talk to her. I'm still processing all
I will.
of
I'll do
this.
that too. So as much as well, I'll just quick say this. Kiss was my first concert ever.
Oh wow, cool.
When I was in 1980, just a little wee lad with the original members. My claim to fame to a little bit.
Motley Crue was my first concert ever.
There you go.
So there you go.
mine was They Might Be Giants.
Oh yeah?
Okay.
All right.
I think I was 7, and to this day that is still the loudest concert I've ever been to.
Oh really?
Yeah. My dad still talks about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said he couldn't hear right for 3 days afterwards. So it's like crazy. I'm like, they're like, you're talking about like a kid who used to cry at fireworks because it hurt my ears, you know,
Wow.
and I'm just like, there's just this wall of sound, you know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah.
Do you like to do some songs? Because you mentioned Wham quite a few times and George Michael, which again, I'm a Wham fan. And I do love George Michael's voice. What's that?
I said you have to be. He's great. Nobody knows the other guy's name in Wham.
That's true. That's very true.
Andrew Ridgely.
There you go.
So one person does.
Thank you.
Me and one of my gay best friends. Me and him were the only 2 people.
That makes sense.
Me and my gay best friend too.
That's why I'm a Wham friend.
No, that's not true. I like Wham too. I've come around. On Wham.
I've come around a lot more. And my daughters love Wham, and they play it all the time. They love George Michael, and we play. But my question goes to pop songs. It sounds like your band isn't into pop music, but do you like to have pop songs that you make harder? You know, put a little rock edge to them and sell them on playing it then?
I feel like everything we do, we put a little rock edge on it. Like if for some reason somebody comes in and wants to hear a country song, I mean, it's not like Alex is going to make his tone all like farty and thin. It's still going to sound rocking. And it's not like I'm going to sing it necessarily with twang. So I think, you know, we kind of sprinkle our flavor on top of it, but we don't do much pop in my band. I used to in the old band I used to play in, but we're learning a couple like I mean, I don't know, it's kind of like pop rock, like the B-52s, what's the other one, Footloose, There's one other one I told them to learn. Oh, like Shout by the Isley Brothers. You know, that are just like crowd pleasers. And the reason why those aren't in our set list anymore is because of COVID. We couldn't have dance floors for so long. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be a dick and play Footloose when people have to stay in their seats. So like recently, now I'm kind of just like, maybe we should like bring some of those songs back and like, you know, but we didn't want to play them for so long because I didn't want to, you know, tempt people to, you know, working in a bar is like working in a daycare. You know, you can't rely on people's intelligence or maturity. You just have to, like, you're a babysitter and you just got to babysit them, you know?
Oh, my goodness.
There's a great Jim Gaffigan joke about that, by the way.
Okay.
He's like, you go to a bar at 2 a.m., there's no difference in picking up your kid at daycare. He's like, there's always some weird yelling. You go in the bathroom, clearly not everyone's potty trained. Some fight breaks out. He's like, we was standing where I wanted to stand. You know, and somebody's crying. She was my friend, but not anymore. You know, like this whole thing is great. I'm like, oh my God, that's 1,000% accurate.
It is.
Right? Yeah.
Like every night.
That's awesome. That's awesome. The great Jim Gaffigan. That's funny.
I'm actually going to see him next Wednesday. It'll be my third time seeing him. He's probably my favorite.
Oh yeah.
He is my son went some recently. Loves him.
Yeah, he's funny. Good. Is he at the Ryman?
No, Bridgestone.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I suppose it's Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I didn't know if the pop influence, but obviously the Beatles is a big thing. You keep going back to them. Have you watched the Beatles? Have you watched that new documentary? Kind of new on.
Yeah.
I forget. Get Back, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Did you watch
it?
Yeah.
What is Peter Jackson just?
Yes.
Does he just like direct movies about guys with like mop haircuts doing an impossible task and make it 15 hours long? Like, dude, there was definitely parts of that could have been chopped. I didn't need to know George Harrison was such a whiny little girl. Okay, that's just like destroyed my reality.
Oh, really? Okay, I haven't watched it yet.
No, I'm just kidding. Paul's my favorite, so I wasn't. Okay. I was like, come on, man. But then you realize like they're only like 27 or something. So I'm like, well, I really can't fault them for that.
Yeah, right.
I think a lot of people forget that their fame is kind of short lived. They were young yet, you know.
Yeah.
So that when everything blew up, and then they had a lot of time after that. But they were young when all that shit was thrown at them.
Yeah, and that's why they didn't. I mean, the last like 5 albums they didn't even tour with. You know.
They couldn't.
They quit after. I don't remember if like it was shortly after the Shea Stadium concert. I'm trying to think. It was whenever John said, you know, the Beatles were bigger than Jesus or whatever, and then everybody freaked the fuck out, and people in the South are burning their Beatles vinyl. I remember cracking up because there's this stupid ass Blake Shelton song where he's like, the boys around here don't listen to the Beatles. I'm like, well, maybe if you had, you could write a song that doesn't suck ass, Blake. Like, holy shit, dude. Who disses the Beatles? Like, give me a break, bro.
Right?
Like, you know, like,
yeah,
I can get it if sonically it's not your thing. Like, you know, they kind of got nasally voices or whatever. It's a little high, you know, the 60s recordings are a little like high indie and twangy sounding, but like to not like realize they influence everything you listen to, like, give me a damn break, dude.
Right.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, there's a couple things you just don't
get out.
You don't touch. Yeah.
So
when did you get into the Beatles?
I was walking around the house. I was walking around the house singing at the top of my lungs when I was 2. So
okay, so they've been around forever.
There's not a song of theirs I don't know, and I can play about 120 of them, which is about half the catalog.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So I do an acoustic Beatles tribute duo with Philip Schaus, who is Ace Frehley's bass player. About like 6 to 8 times a year, depending on how much he's touring or, you know, whatever. And man, he's like me. He knows all of them. And it's been a really rewarding experience doing that with him, because even though the songs are so familiar, when you go through and kind of pick everything apart, it's like, oh, I didn't even notice that they were doing that's genius. Oh my God. Like, and you just notice even more of like how brilliant they were. So it's been cool. Made me a better musician.
Are all your shows local? Yes.
We started doing it as a live stream situation about 2 years ago. We do tend to live stream them still. We usually do them at a venue called Wind Down, which is It's in Donaldson. It's kind of northeast. I'm like thinking of Nashville map in my head. Kind of like northeast, kind of close to the airport, I guess.
Okay.
That's about like 10 minutes from, about 15 minutes from downtown.
Okay.
Not too far out.
So where is the live stream then? What is there a website for that?
We've been using Facebook, but
okay.
I think we're gonna start using. There's this new app called Trubify that my friend Jason Hartless, who is also Ted Nugent's drummer,
Okay.
him and his friend Trevor have been developing it, and basically, like when you go live, you get paid regardless, and people can also tip in the app, but it's specifically geared towards streaming live music.
Okay.
As opposed to like where Facebook is everything.
Right.
So it's still kind of in its infancy. I'm actually doing like their like ambassador program to try to help them get a little more of a foothold here in Nashville, because they've got pretty strong, ongoings in LA and New York, but they're still trying to snatch Nashville. So we're gonna probably do some shows on there with me and Philip, and then also my boyfriend and I do like a 90s grunge alternative kind of a tribute thing, and we're probably going to do some shows like that as well. It's kind of like we do like B-side hits.
Okay.
So if I was going to do a Smash Pumpkins song, I'm not going to do like Bullet with Butterfly Wings. I'll do like Today. If I'm doing the Cranberries, I'm not going to do Zombie. I'm going to do Linger. So we try to do like the hits that you forgot that you loved.
Okay.
That's awesome.
That's too obscure, because I still want people to know the songs.
Yeah.
So what's the name of the streaming service again?
It's called Trubify.
Ruba.
Yeah.
And it's available.
Trubify.
And it's available now. I can go get the app now.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'll show you because you're on my laptop, so it looks
right. Yeah.
I'll show you what it
Perfect.
looks like. Can you? It looks like this. Oh wait.
okay.
That's weird. Yeah, Trubify.
Cool.
Okay.
Little purple music note if you download it.
I will be
Okay,
looking
we'll
for
push
that. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely push.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Cool. That's I think that's creamy.
Creamy?
Yeah.
Ah, damn it, man! You bastard! Hang me up.
I don't know how it's creamy, but it seemed creamy.
it seems like the right time to bring it up.
Yeah. So he threw me all these questions, like the conversation started. He's like, "Do you hate the word moist?" And I'm like, "Well, actually, no, but it's the oi is what bothers people. That like so words like moisture or ointment. It's for some reason like that sound is misophonic. Yeah, but for me, I just don't like the word creamy. It like grosses me out. Like, if you like to try our creamy creme brulee, I would not. Please get the fuck away from me. Like, I'm like, not interested. Disgusting.
Again, now I love this that we just got the science behind why people hate the word moist. That's fantastic.
Right.
I'm
the
like,
oil sound.
yeah,
Would have never known that. Obviously, or never would have learned that.
yeah, no, but when you said that, I'm like, yeah, people don't like the word moist. You're right. Like I've heard people say that too.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, like moist doesn't bother me. I do not like the sound of people chewing, though. I'll tell you that.
Thank you.
Oh man.
yeah.
Shut your fucking mouth when you chew. Thank you.
I used to live with a guy who he just had like his jaw would kind of like I don't know if he had TMJ or something, but it would like make a noise when he was chewing. And I would not be able to eat what he was eating because it would make me like nauseous. It's horrible.
That's
Was it this thing, man?
Was this a relationship living with that? Because that had to end.
Yeah.
This is just friends. Okay.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. I work in a male-dominated industry. I have a lot of dude friends.
Yeah, I would imagine. Are the women of Nashville catty? Like, is it kind of a club?
I don't want to make a sweeping generalization about anyone, but
Here, geez.
She bashed Motley Crue. I'm trying to throw her under the bus.
I did not bash them. I made a fair, logical comparison based on factual data. It was not my opinion.
You can't argue with what she said.
I could, but like
Factual. You said it.
The guest is always right. Let's just leave it.
No, I'm just usually right, except when I.
Yes. She's got a bachelor's.
Master.
Master. She's a master's. Of course she's right.
Right.
Smarter than both of us
logically.
put together.
That's what the high IQ means. I'm just very logical. I'm a pretty dispassionate person. But I don't know. I guess like women in general can be catty, especially if they are insecure and they perceive you as being better than they are in some regard. But I don't know. I think I kind of have filtered out because to me, insecurity begets all toxic behavior. You think about it.
Yep.
If somebody's like mean to you, it's because they don't like themselves. Well, and if you don't like yourself, why the fuck should I? Like, bye, Felicia. I'm done with you. So I kind of, now I'm surrounded by all these like, badass people who know who they are. And there's a lot of women in this industry that are very supportive, and again, it does tend to be more, the rock women. But again, those are the people that I know. I actually did an all-female. It's kind of like an 80s rock tribute show. So stuff like Stevie Nicks, solo stuff, Pat Benatar. I sang Bonnie Tyler song. Is it Bonnie Tyler? No, wait. Who sings Belinda Carlisle. That's what Belinda Carlisle. Yeah, okay. Heaven is a place on earth. Because I'm looking through the list and I'm like, I never get to sing this girly shit. Can I do that song? Like I was so excited, right? It was all women except the guy who coordinated it. He played keys on a handful of songs, but generally it was all women on stage other than him. And it was like, I mean, you go back in the green room and everybody's like, oh my God, you did such a good job. And like genuine, not like, oh my God, I just love how you're so brave to wear that outfit. It was like, dude, you're so badass, And that was a super positive experience. But then again, everybody there was very talented and very confident. So I think that's more the X factor than your gender.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Can't argue with that. Right? Can't argue with that. Step back.
Can't argue with me.
No.
My logic's infallible. I'm like the computer in that Will Smith movie.
wait, that thing takes over the world, doesn't it? Or tries to.
Well,
you better stop revealing my evil plans, dude.
Right? Right? Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, deep breaths. Okay. Yeah, so I was looking through other questions. I'm like, okay, I've never been arrested. I've never sent me to the hospital.
Well, hold on.
Like, but what kind of people is he having on this show? Oh my God.
Well,
it's part of a.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, it's just a game that we play online. It's called Who Said True, and when you actually play it, it's on your phone, and everybody answers either true or false to all the questions. And then the point is to try and guess how many people have said true to the question. And then it just kind of, from there, we'll build some conversation. So we've tried to play it on the podcast, but it's kind of easier to just ask the question. So that's why, that's why I just threw them out there.
I've played that, but like as a drinking game.
Like never have I ever.
Yeah, the never have I ever.
Never have I ever. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah.
And that's kind of what this is, except it's supposed to be anonymous until you start talking about it and you admit to the fact that you're the one who said true.
Well, right when you see the initial 2 people out of the group said true, and you're wondering who, or especially one says true.
Right.
Then you got to be like, well, which one said they did it or not? So,
yeah. Right. So,
but it is eventually a drink.
Right. Yeah, you can certainly drink out of it for sure. Like, every time that somebody gets one right or whatever. So, but. Yeah, so that's where the questions come from, and I just tried to put together a list of a variety of stuff that we could hit on something, So, and you get hit on by both men and women.
Oh yeah,
so that we got to.
Yeah.
More men than women, or the other way around?
I don't know. I mean, I'd say it's probably more men because. I think it's pretty obvious that I'm straight. But I'd say like it's not as much of a disparity as you would think, because I think I intimidate a lot of guys. Like, I mean, I've had a guy put his hand on my shoulder just like because they're excited that I'm coming out into the crowd. I'm just like, can you not? And they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Here's $20. He's like
that worked.
Which is weird because I'm 5'2", and you wouldn't think I'd be scary, but I think it's just the way I carry myself. I'm just like, dude, not today, Satan. Like, we're not playing this game. I'm not somebody you can walk over.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm also
you present
like,
yourself very confidently.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm
And
almost like
that's-
42, so I ain't got time for it. Like I'm like,
Right. And I
yeah.
don't want to deal with them.
Right.
Yeah. I'd say most recently I think I did have a kid, like a young kid, asked me he was, oh, do you have a boyfriend? And I go, yep, he's right over there, because my boyfriend plays bass for us sometimes.
Okay. That's pretty easy then. Yeah.
And he's also like very, very attractive. Like it's like Thor and like Legolas from Lord of the Rings had like a child together. He's got like the V abs, and every guy like looks at him and they're like, yeah, I'm not even gonna try.
Yep. Done.
Oh, yes. That's yeah. No, I suppose that makes sense.
But
Yeah.
I don't think having a boyfriend is necessary for swatting flies, but it does help.
I would.
Right. Because I always say,
But-
I do. Isn't that your standard as women to just say, yep, I have a boyfriend? When some creepy guy asks
No.
you.
I mean, I usually just like kind of politely excuse myself from the conversation, or I'll just say something off the wall. I'll be like, "Hey, can you wait here? I gotta go take a shit," and then they're gone. When I get like, if I just say something like just totally effed up, then I can get rid of them.
I'm about to go shoot heroin in the bathroom. Give me 5 minutes and we can talk.
Exactly. And and it's not to say that like I'm gonna like off the cuff be rude. I tend to be a polite person, but if a dude's being like real aggressive or like rude, I'm like, oh honey, I'm sorry. I don't date ugly guys, and just fucking walk away. And by the time they realize what I said, like, I'm long gone, dude.
Well, I can testify to the fact that you're very nice. You were very nice to us.
Yeah.
I remember right from stage, you commented about our awesome cocktails with the dimples in the beard shirts. And that's how I was like, I gotta get her.
Wow.
So, and we will definitely send you one. I know I said I was going to send you one when we were there and I haven't, but we will definitely be sending you
Yeah,
one.
well, where's my t-shirt?
I didn't know anything about her, else you'd have had it by now.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm an idiot.
We should do this first, and then when the podcast is out, then I can wear it and promote it, and then get people to look at it. Because it'd be weird if I had the shirt, people be like, "What's that?" I'd be like, "What's this thing that I haven't done yet?"
That's true.
So, marketing.
It works better this way. Trust me.
That's true.
Perfect.
And that's, I mean, that we like to hear that because, it's nice to get the promotion from the people that come on. We don't always get that.
I will promote you.
Yes.
I mean, clearly, how many names have I thrown at you? I mean, like, the Trubify thing. I mean, not like I'm doing it on purpose. You asked what the live streaming thing's like, but the reason why, we are successful is because we're a network of people, who look out for each other and support each other. But also, I wouldn't support something if I didn't believe in it. I'm not just like telling you, hey, check out my friend, he's Ted Nugent Strummer's thing. If I didn't think it was kick ass, I'd be like, I wouldn't even bring it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, I never even heard of that. Sweep under the rug.
Right.
So here's my lead in. And end of your shows, do you ever do anything acapella?
Everything what?
Acapella?
Acapella? Yeah, Mercedes-Benz and the national anthem.
There you go. We should have let off with the national anthem, had we known. That would have been our first episode we did a national anthem for.
Yeah, me right now?
Yeah. I mean, I said we should have. We should have warned you of this and had you sing it at the beginning. We'd have been,
There's no way I could do that cold. You give me an E flat. Boing.
What?
That's what key I go in, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we used to close shows with that a lot. Because a lot of times the club be like, one more song, and I could be like, do national anthem so we get the fuck out of here, because it's like a 1 minute song, because we'd always be like, some of the clubs they'll keep you there till like 2:45 a.m.
Yeah.
Where and who was it? I don't know if it was a boyfriend or my guitar player. They were like, why do you like close with the national anthem? I said, well, back in my day, TV wasn't on for 24 hours a day. All of a sudden you would hear the national anthem and then there'd just be like a bunch of bars on the screen. Like there wouldn't be anything else.
Yeah,
that's true. I remember that. Yeah, you'd wake up and be like, why is the national anthem playing?
Yeah, it'd be like so weird, dude. It's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
Or like, I mean, I remember telling him once, because I don't own a microwave, because I had a microwave probably like 6 or 7 years ago and it broke. And I'm like, you know what? I don't ever eat leftovers because it tastes like crap. I just heat everything up in the oven, right? So my boyfriend and I get ready to watch a movie, and he's 26. My Thor. Yeah. So he goes, well, how are we gonna make popcorn? You don't have a microwave. I'm like, you ever made like popcorn on the stovetop? Like he had no idea that you could do that. Like it's amazing.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just like, there's just like, I don't typically feel like there's an age gap most of the time, but every once in a while, I'm like, how do you not? You never did. All right. Well, we'll learn today.
Well, he doesn't know the world without the internet either. So, I mean, but
not
a
really.
little, yeah, a little bit.
Like,
but
he was born in 1995, so yeah.
I was definitely looking at porn on AOL by then. I mean,
yeah,
for
we
sure.
had like analog porn back in our day.
Be like,
right? You waited for that shit,
right?
Somebody's got everything right away.
And then it would freeze
spoiled.
up. You get to like right there and it would freeze up. You'd be like, God.
But he's one of the reasons why I do that 90s grunge show with him is, because he is kind of like fascinated with that era of music. He loves it. So I'm like, I think that's why you like dating me, because I'm like a relic of like the 90s.
Wow.
I think that's a big part of the attraction for him.
I'm gonna say the beauty and the talent probably
There's
go a
a lot
long
more,
way too.
yeah.
So
I'm gonna say there's more to it.
My talent, right? All right. You can't tell in this sweatshirt. Must have been regretting wearing it. I'm starting to sweat, but it's all good. It's like 72 here today, and
we get that from a lot of our female guests that they're starting to sweat towards the end of the interview.
You know what it is? It's the Kiss T-shirt. It's what's doing it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop. You're gonna regret having me on your show.
Favorite
Dude, it's a good thing
ever.
Look, it's a good thing I'm not joining you guys in the drinking, because I'd probably be twice as sassy. So
Damn it.
Well, I don't care that you like Kiss better. You're awesome. You've been so much fun.
I know, but maybe we should have have her back on after a show when she is drinking.
Well, here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to
you
do.
do makeup?
I want you to come to Nashville, and I want to take the podcast live.
Hell
That's
yeah.
what I want. So
Yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah. So when we're down there, because we're gonna get down there eventually. When we're down there, we'll look you up and try and do this in person. So
That would be awesome.
you have been fantastic. Did you say you've done other podcasts? You've done some other podcasts?
Yes, I did one with what the devil's his last name? Frankie. It's called like the Melted Podcast.
Okay.
He's buddies with Eddie Corlino. He's like Paul Stanley's guitar customizer. He makes his guitar straps and stuff.
Okay.
And because of the people that I know, Eddie hooked me up with him, and I got to do one with him. And then I did another one. I can't. I think it's called the See You Next Tuesday podcast.
Okay. That kind of sounds
Get
familiar. Yeah.
See you. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No. Yep.
It's been probably about. I'm trying to think. It's about a year when I did the one with Frankie. He's actually talking about moving here. The other guy's name, I can never pronounce his name. It's like, it looks like Erez, but I don't think that's how you pronounce it. He's from Israel. Okay. I can never pronounce his name the right way, even with my master's degree. So
it only goes so far.
Well, if you can't pronounce it,
I think it's called See You Next Tuesday podcast. The other one's called the Melted Podcast. Yeah, and that one was a lot of fun.
For people not paying attention, that spells come. All right. So thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate it. We'll let you go so you can go get ready for your show. And
I'm already ready. I had to get my face on. I'm good to go.
Good to go.
Okay. Good to go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
I am gonna eat some food.
Yes, I would imagine. Probably burn a few calories up there playing for 4 hours.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, thank you guys for having me. It was a real treat.
Oh, thank you.
Such a blast. I'm so glad I got to meet you. He was talking about you. Yeah, I'm glad I got to meet you. So give you a chance. Promote your Instagram, promote your music. Do you have any recordings out there for people to go and listen to you? I think you have some stuff on Spotify.
I'm working on a solo album right now. between COVID and buying the house. A little strapped for cash, but I'm kind of like starting to get back in a position now where I can make it happen. I did an EP called the Panic Tapes with a band called Krantz, Krantz. But I just do like the BGVs and the percussion on that record. It's not me singing lead, but it is me. And yeah, hopefully.
What tape?
Do what? Pennock, Panic Tapes. If you look it up on like Apple Music, it'll be under their EPs. They for some reason they list them separately from albums. It's really strange. But if you see the cover, it's like a cartoon of the four of us. You'll know which one it is. It looks really psychedelic and stuff.
Okay.
I'm trying to think beyond that. There's another guy. I don't know if he still goes by Justin Kalk or not. It's Kalk. I sang BGVs on one of his songs. It's called Fingerless Black Gloves. That was some years ago. And this isn't something you can go listen to, but this one time at band camp, I did get to record backing vocals for Adam Lambert on a rendition of Don't Stop Me Now. It's 19 separate vocal tracks that I had to record, but I'm pretty sure you can't stream it anywhere. It was for like a TV spot or like a commercial or something. I can't recall, but I mean, I have like a bounced version of the track, but I don't have like a mixed version of it. So I'm not really sure, but that was one of the most grueling days I ever had in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's Freddie.
Wow.
Like there's so much detail and you can't just like wing it. It's got to be like exact. Like the articulation. Sometimes he's more breathy, and sometimes he's really singing hard. Like there's so much dynamics there. It was a lot, but it was a blast.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think that one's available anywhere. But the Justin Kalk song for sure, and the Panic Tapes for sure are on Spotify, Apple Music. Do Apple Music because Spotify is evil.
Right? Yeah, you don't get paid. Yeah. For sure. Stay away from Spotify.
They're like literally I think they paid the least after I think YouTube, and Apple Music pays the most. So not like I'm not getting paid to say this. It's just my beliefs.
Well, yeah, and that's what makes it even more true, right? Like
it's good to know. Yeah. I mean, if someone's going to choose either one, it's good to know.
Yeah, it's I think they pay all. They're like people don't blah. Not as many people use them to stream as Spotify, but they still pay out like 22% of like the total revenue in the industry.
Oh, wow.
Even though they only have like a smaller percent. I mean, it's something like that. Like I think they pay out like double the percentage of what their streaming numbers are per capita. Yeah. And I have to look into it. I read an article about it like a couple years ago. I don't remember like what the exact numbers are, but it's significant. You know.
Well, now I know I will go back to Apple Music. I have gone away from them, but
it was just weird because like I have an Android. Like everybody's like, but you have an Android. I'm like, does it? So I can still download any app.
Yeah, you can still use Apple Music. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't prohibit you from using it because you're not.
Right. Yeah, so people don't get that. I'm like, I have iTunes on my laptop too. Like,
right.
Like another good point to bring up for people that don't know.
Right. Yes.
If we got an Android,
I mean, if you
Apple Music.
truly, I mean, granted, streaming doesn't pay, hardly anything. But if you're going to stream, why not use a streaming service that costs the exact same amount of money that gives the artist more money?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Kind of.
That's
all I'm saying, man. Sorry, let me just get down off this little soapbox here. All right.
Was that the Kiss soapbox or the Apple soapbox?
That was just a regular soapbox.
Okay.
It's got soap in it,
All right. And where can we find you on Instagram? You've got your personal page.
Yeah, it's at Monica.Lewellen. Monica Lewellen, and then the band's handle is at Llewellyn Degenerates.
Okay.
Ha ha ha.
Which I love the name.
I'll make sure.
Do love the name.
I'll make sure to put them all in the show credits so people can find you without having to type that, because I had to work hard on the last name. I couldn't remember how to.
Yeah, my last name is a real pain. That's why I have business cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of drunk by the end of the night, so I couldn't find where the business card went at first. And I was like, I know what her name was. I think I can. So I came up.
I wonder because you didn't like message me right away. I was like, maybe he doesn't really want me on his podcast.
Well, I think we saw you like midway through our Nashville trip too, and I didn't really do any business until I got home. So it's hard to do it. Hard to do business when you're partying like that in Nashville.
No, I can respect that. Trust me. You know.
Yeah.
You got to have that time when you don't work.
Yeah. It's getting harder. Anyway, thank you again so much.
Thank you
I
guys.
love this. It was so much fun.
It's been a blast. Yeah, appreciate meeting you. And
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Bill,
Thanks for having me on.
my goal to see you live.
Awesome. Yeah, we're coming to Nashville eventually, for sure. For sure.
Well, you'll
YouTube
just have
videos
to
are
let me
great.
know.
We will. Definitely will.
Your YouTube videos are great, but live, I can only imagine.
Awesome. Great.
Awesome. Cool.
All right. Thank you again. Have a great night. Have a great show tonight.
Yeah, have a great show.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for listening. The tavern is closed for now, but we'd love to have you back for more fun next time. Seriously, though, get your asses out of here.